right, it is 12:16, so I'm going to get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Jennifer Cunningham. Welcome to our Mountain Talk today. Today, we are talking about coupons. Very apropos given inflation and all of that. Everyone's looking how to best save money and how sort of the psychology of coupons works. I'm here today with Beibei Dong, who came to Lehigh in about 2009, and Eric Fang, who came to Lehigh in 2020 during the pandemic. They both won several awards from their respected journals and academies, and most recently just published an article in the Journal of Marketing, which for those of you who work in that field know that that's a very prestigious publication. And so we're anxious to hear that article and its findings come to life in our discussion today. Very quickly, I think you all know how Zoom works at this point, but I'll just quickly go through the choreography. Beibei and Eric are going to do about a 5 to 10 minute presentation, and then we're going to open it up for your questions. And you're going to ask your questions via the chat function at the bottom of your screen. And I will read those questions to the presenters so that they can focus on their answers and not scanning the chat. You can make your question available just to the panelists, or you can make it for everybody to see. Sometimes that tends to start some really interesting back conversations. So I would urge you to set it so that you're asking everybody. And the success of these really depends on your involvement. So I hope that you will listen and then ask some questions. And all right, I will turn it over. Oh, and I do have to say, for legal reasons, we are being recorded. So, and if you have to drop off early and want to watch what you missed, we'll post this on our Mountain Talk website as well. All right, take it away, Beibei and Eric.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Jennifer, for the introduction, and thank you for having me and Eric here to share our research. So I'm Beibei Dong, Associate Professor of Marketing, and I have my colleague Eric Fang, Professor and Iacocca Chair of Marketing, join me here to discuss our recent publication at Journal of Marketing. And we looked into shared coupons, and here today we are very happy to share about what we find. So if you think about coupons, right, like every day we typically receive coupons from companies throughout the email and the social media platform. And more we now have customers to share coupons with their social network. So like this example here, right, like give 20%, get 20%. If you share that with your friend, both of you would get 20% off. And here are a few more examples here about coupon sharing. So coupon sharing occurs among 90% of the millennials, and 43% of them said they use social media to share. And on the receiving side, we say typically people trust more from their referrals. So 92% consumers said they trust the referrals from their network and their family and friends, and 71% would buy based on social media referrals. So what we did in this project is that we worked with Coca-Cola, and we helped Coke to launch a digital coupon campaign in China. And what Coke wants to do is to use WeChat as the digital platform to launch a coupon that can be redeemed in local McDonald's restaurants. And not sure if you are familiar with WeChat. WeChat is the #1 social media platform in China. It's similar to Facebook. It has more than 1.2 billion users. On the company side, it's very useful because it allows companies to send direct messages and marketing communication to their customers. So more than 20 million companies have opened official WeChat accounts to connect to their customers and also send coupons to them. So in this project, we helped Coke design 3 different types of coupons. So the first type of coupon is what we call direct coupons. These are the coupons we interact daily. These are the coupons directly distributed by the companies. Then we looked into shared coupons. Well, the company Coke sent to its customers and asked their customers to share those coupons with their friends. And we looked into 2 different types of shared coupons. The first type is the regular shared coupons, which we call SCR. Basically says you have your friends to share the coupons on the platform with other friends. And then we looked into a new type of shared coupons. We call it, basically it's called shared coupons with experience co-creation. So we call it SCC. Basically, the difference is this time, when the coupon givers, the customers share their coupons, they will also invite their friends to do a joint activity together on the platform. So what type of activity it is? Here's one example. So what would happen is like the coupon receiver, the customer, would receive a message from their friend, said your friend Tom, let's say, has invited you to play a game. And then the coupon giver, Tom, and the coupon receiver will go into an in-platform app. Well, they would actually play a cooperative game together, like this one, right? Like they have a virtual basket to collect the burgers, and it would convert into coins. They can use coins to buy digital virtual dishes, like they are having some fun together in the game. And at the end, they would receive that coupon that they can redeem at McDonald's. So now the question becomes, which coupons are more likely to be redeemed? The direct coupons we receive from Coke directly, or the shared coupons, with co-creation. So this is what we find. So basically we find, compared to the direct coupons, actually coupons shared by friends actually have a lower redemption rate. It's like 20% lower as compared to the direct coupons. That's a little bit surprising, right? We thought typically you're more likely to do something that are coming from your friends as compared to the company directly. However, co-creation actually could help to increase the attractiveness of the coupon. So here you can see when you have shared coupons with co-creation, it's 20% higher in terms of redemption rate than the direct coupon. Now let's see why this is the case, right? Why the regular shared coupons would actually underperform direct coupons? Into that, we are more likely to redeem something that's coming from our friends. Second, why could experience co-creation increase shared coupons attractiveness? So here's the story. The story is based on the way we interact with people. There are 2 ways that relationships can be formed. The first type is what we call exchange relationship. Well, relationships typically are involved with economic transactions. So for example, the relationship between a firm and a customer is typically represents an exchange relationship. Then a different type of relationship is what we call communal relationships. This basically shows more about like social relationships where it do not involve economic transactions. So for example, our relationship with family members, with friends, where economic transactions are usually not involved. Well, if we look at shared coupons, if you look at the name shared and coupons, it actually has 2 mixed features here. It has the economic aspect, where you got economic incentive. It also has the social aspect because the coupon is shared by friends. And the mixed nature of shared coupons actually propose a conflict with the communal relationships that we are dealing with between friends, right? So we typically say no money talk among friends. You don't want to do business with your friends because that's going to be too complicated and going to ruin your communal relationship. So similarly, we find when you mix them together, consumers actually perceive greater norm conflicts. And that's why I made it make shared coupons less attractive. Then why co-creation, right? Experience co-creation could help to make it more appealing. So here, when we say co-creation, we mean basically the coupon giver and the coupon receiver will spend some joint effort together to create some shared experience. So like in our studies, we have customers to develop a tour plan together, to design a coffee mug together, or play a game together. We tried all of them in our studies, and the findings are consistent. We find when you have experienced co-creation, it actually improves the social goals from the consumer side. And by doing that, it helps to reduce the norm conflict. So which actually helps to improve your redemption rate. So in other words, now customers see experience co-creation actually transform coupon sharing into a relationship building tools. In other words, now they see, let's play a game together. And then by doing that, now we are promoting our social bonding between us. And then we can get the rewards for doing it. That's the coupon. So it changes the nature of the coupon and how consumers look at it. And because of that, with the reduced conflicts and the redemption rate becomes much higher. So here are a few more examples about how shared coupons with co-creation actually has increasingly getting attraction in the industry. So for example, like this one is Pinduoduo, that's a Chinese website, e-commerce website. It's a very popular one now. It invites all its users coming to play online games and interactive challenges with their friends, and then they can win like different coupons afterwards. Or like Ferrero, right? That's an Italian chocolate company. What they did is that they invite loved ones to create postcards for each other. And after the activity, they can get different types of coupons. And so here's another one from Alibaba. That's one of the dominant e-commerce websites in China, where they launched this skyscraper building campaign, where in the campaign, they ask customers to join in teams, to make up teams with their friends and to do different activities to build the skyscraper. And then they can compile different type coupons afterwards. Okay, so that's the first part of the story where we find experience co-creation can make shared coupons more attractive. However, if you look at the coupon redemption rate, it's still relatively low, 1.76. Although it's better than direct coupons and regular shared coupons, it's still relatively low. So the next question would be, how can we increase the redemption rate of shared coupons with co-creation? A typical go-to strategy when we deal with coupon redemption is we try to increase coupons face value. So for example, instead of giving a $5 off coupon, we can give $20 off. Typically that helps to increase redemption rate. However, that's a very costly strategy and companies cannot just use that as a sustainable strategy. So we are interested to see if we could find a new cost-effective strategy. And here, in the second part of our project, we looked into ex-post communication. So basically, we are looking for reminder notifications companies can send to customers through the social media platform. And we want to see if sending customer reminding messages can make low value coupons as effective as high value coupons in terms of coupon redemption rate. Right, like maybe with a low value coupon, people are equally likely to redeem them. So in other words, can we do more with less? So what we did is that we collaborated with leading hot pot restaurant chain in Asia. The restaurant chain has like thousands of stores in China. And we launched another large scale nationwide WeChat campaign. And in this campaign, we also have, we designed the coupon that will customers need to co-create with their friends. And this time, the game has changed a little bit. Instead of having a collaborative game, this time we make the game more competitive. So the customers have to compete with their friends, and the winner in the game will get a higher value of coupon, let's say $8, and the loser in the game will get a lower value of the coupon, let's say $4. And we want to see whether the coupon value makes a difference. Then after the game, after they got their coupon, we send them reminder messages. We want to see if we sending them different messages would remind them to redeem the coupon and how would that affect the coupon redemption rate. So here we designed 3 different messages for them. The first message is what we call economic message. Basically, in the message, we try to emphasize the economic value of the coupon. So like this one, we say you still have the coupon in the amount of $4. A second type of message is what we call social message. So in the message, we try to emphasize the social relationships embedded in the coupon they have earned. So like this one, you still have the coupon you earned together with your friend. And then we have a control condition. Well, it's a simple message. It does not really emphasizing anything. So let's see which one is most effective. So what we find is that for low value coupons, social message actually is most powerful in increasing the redemption rate. Well, economic message actually is the least effective for low value coupons. However, for high value coupons, we find economic message is most effective in raising the redemption rate, but this time, social message becomes least effective. We followed up with a simulation. So what we did is that we find for a low value coupon, let's say if it's a $4 coupon, when you couple it with a social message, it can increase the coupon's perceived value by 48%. It's equivalent to $5.93. What does that mean? It basically says, if we give a low value coupon, $4, couple it with a social message, we can make it as effective as a $5.93 coupon in terms of achieving the same redemption rate. So in other words, we can do more with less, right? You do not need to spend millions of dollars on your coupons. Instead, if you have a low value coupon, well, customers get from their co-creation activities, coupling with a social message helps. In contrast, we found that for high value coupons, actually, the social message becomes not that effective. So in other words, when you're increasing the coupon value, you are actually diminishing the effect of your social messages. So in other words, more is not necessarily better in this regard. Okay, so here are the major key takeaways from our project. We summarize it into a 3-step approach. We call it share, co-create, and communicate. So we say when we distribute coupons, apparently having customer sharing coupons is a very powerful consumer-to-consumer coupon distribution strategy. It's low cost because now you have millions of customers to work for you, and it's impactful because the scope could be huge. However, social capital does not always equal to economic capital. There are relationship conflicts that we have to be aware of. And to reduce that conflict, we can use experience co-creation to help to boost the attractiveness of shared coupons. And at the end, if you could follow up with communications that try to highlight the social value embedded in those co-created coupons, it would help you to save a lot of budget on your coupons. So with that said, what we really look at here, the phenomenon, is what we call, it's the customer engagement in digital marketing. So this is one aspect that we see how we can engage customer through the digital marketing process. And over the time, we see empowered with technology and social media, customers are jointly responsible for the management, ownership, and equity of a company's brand. So this has become a very important topic that almost every company in the business is trying to see how can they engage consumers better in defining their brand and promoting the strengths of the firm. So like what news are talking about these days, right? Customer engagement is the future for all of us, and the customer engagement represents the core competency and the differential advantage of the firm. So the firm that can truly beat the market is the one that can best leverage customers as their resources. And ultimately, co-creation becomes the beating heart of marketing. Thank you everyone for listening to our presentation. So this is what we have done in our project. Thank you. And now we are delighted to open up for questions.
Great. Thank you, Beibei. That was wonderful. So as I mentioned at the beginning, please put your questions into the chat box and I will read those to the presenters. Now, while you are thinking about your questions, I had a couple. I was wondering, you sort of touched on this towards the end there, but I'm wondering, the purpose of coupons is really to drive, consumers, maybe introduce them to a new brand or to try a new food at McDonald's. Is that really still the purpose of coupons? Because it sounds like maybe they're not just to introduce people to brands anymore, but to get them engaging with the company. I'm just interested from a brand standpoint, why coupons and not more billboards or more ads or more other ways to get people engaged?
Okay, I can take this question. So in my mind, I think there are different communication strategies we use for customers, and it really depending on the consumer readiness level. So we have more like, let's say, media campaigns where we focus more on brand awareness, while you try to build the brand and let customers know about your brand and engage with your brand. While coupon is a little bit different. It's more on the later stage of consumer readiness. It works best when consumers are almost ready to make the purchase, but they need a final push or stimulant. So like I'm thinking about buying something, but I'm just in the final stage to choose which brand to buy and what to buy and how much to buy. And offering a coupon usually would help them to motivate their purchase. So I would see that more at a later stage to stimulate the purchase rather than just doing the brand building. But I think with the experience co-creation, you may actually be able to achieve more because now you actually engage your customers more in this brand process, and this interaction could help them to build brands as well.
A question from Eric Wallace. Has there been any study by consumer age groups, such as the older consumers and baby boomers?
I mean, I can probably take that one. That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. In our sample, because we are talking about Coke, in our sample, the consumer age group seem to be, is more like a random sample. That is, the consumer can be anywhere between 20 to 60 or even 65. So we do not have age as a variable in our model. But that's a fascinating question. And one might think shared experience would matter more probably for younger generation, but we don't know. That's really an empirical question that will warrant future studies. But the short answer is no. So far, there is no study looking at how consumers respond toward different types of coupon, how that differ across different age groups.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an excellent question, but we don't address that directly.
I was thinking about, I'm not quite a baby boomer, but I'm old enough to remember when McDonald's had the Monopoly game. If you're familiar with that. Yeah, and you'd get the little things on the side of the fries, and it wasn't necessarily gaming together, but if I had a property that my friend needed, we would sort of trade those. And I know I definitely went to McDonald's more often because I wanted to even get, the $5 off or whatever.
Yes, that's true. That's a good, actually, that's the question for America is a terrific question.
Yeah. On the demographics piece, so a lot of your research has been done with WeChat and Alibaba, you said. Does it translate into European and African and other societies across the planet?
Yeah, Jennifer, that's a good question. I can give it a try. If I understand your question correctly, is there any cultural differences, right? Yeah. Among different countries in terms of how they respond to different types of coupon.
Right.
Yes, we would imagine that's quite possible. It's not just possible, but probably that's not is the case. The context we are focused on is because of the convenience of the sample is from China. many people might consider China to be quote unquote connectivism culture, where social elements probably is more important. So how is that going to play out in other contexts, such as in the US or Europe? That's an interesting question. But regardless, one might imagine that social element is important no matter which culture you're from, right? The caring about families, caring about friendship, having joint experience with people you deeply care about. I think that's universal. It's just the different elements of the social would be different.
Right.
Jennifer, does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just interesting because you think about the different cultures in which, in the United States, it's celebrated to be individualistic and to be competitive. And in other cultures, that's not the case.
Yes.
So it would be interesting.
That's true. In our case, we thought about that. Beibei and I, we thought about that. So that's why in our study, we actually developed two different types of games. In the first game is more like a cooperative game. There is a common goal achieved by the group. The second experiment, we developed this more like a competitive game. There is a winner, there is a loser, right? And we find the result to be consistent. But Jennifer, to reflect on your question, I think depending on the culture, the shared experience, the experience per se might be different. Does it make sense? I was watching, right? I mean, and I feel, right, the football, the divisional football game. So I might imagine in the US, this more like a competitive experience or competitive game would be more, right? Resonate well or better with consumers. Why in China, probably the cooperative game? I don't know, but that's an excellent question.
Yeah. Barbara has a question. This is very interesting. Thank you. One of my clients is a nonprofit year-round indoor-outdoor music festival site, primarily attracting audiences from Westchester and Southern Connecticut and New York City. I think this could work on a local and regional level. We attract a primarily older audience, but would like to increase reach to younger audiences. I think partnering with area restaurants for a joint offer and a shared experience might work. People often picnic and attend our concert with friends on site. So our question is, any thoughts about scaling this more regionally? It sounds like cross-promoting. There's a lot going on in her question about attending an event together and then involving restaurants. Could you do this more regionally, not just on a big platform like WeChat?
Yeah, of course. I think, if I may try, I think the fundamental idea behind this paper can be applicable, even if we apply that regionally, even without relying on any type of digital platform, let's say Facebook. Coming back to Barbara's example about partnering with area restaurants, I think a couple of things that we need to bear in mind. Number one is we have to create that activity associated with your transaction. For example, that activity has to be more or less related to your business scope and also related to the restaurant. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Number two, make sure that shared experience is something that your consumers deeply care about. That experience can be a competitive game, can be a cooperative game, can be a 5 minutes, watching a video together about doing some joint activities on the platform, on your website, or cool design, a logo or menu, whatever it is. So, but you have to make sure that shared experience or that building human touch among consumers is incorporated into your design, instead of just giving them the sheer economic incentive, let's say $5 off or $10 off. Our result will show the first approach by incorporating consumers' interactions in that process would do much, much better than just simply give them some dollar amount. Does it make sense? Yeah. So I guess that's the short answer. But if I may, I think I want to expand slightly at the philosophical level, I think what our paper shows is really the combination between what we call high tech and high touch. And businesses seem to be moving really toward the first direction, which is many people call it high tech, right? With digital platforms, with technology, that gives businesses a very efficient way to reach a wide audience of consumers. Let's say give them digital coupons, running digital advertising, etc. But we are saying that, okay, hold on a second. Why businesses are moving too aggressively into the digital platform for efficiency purpose? We will never forget that we are, at the end of the day, we are human beings. We want human interactions. We want some shared experience. So somehow a business got to incorporate both, which many people call it, right, efficiency driven by the tech or warmth that is embedded in our gene for thousands of years based on those human interactions.
Right, right. Barbara adds, what do you think about the shared experience being the meal out and concert on site via the coupon?
Yeah, that's a good example. I think somehow we can develop. I'm thinking out loud. I mean, although I'm not expert in that arena, let's say a meal out and a concert. We can work with a restaurant. Let's say, just ask them to create a couple of hours of shared experience. So that's the experiment what Beibei and I did. So in one of the experiment, we use a travel destination, Beibei, right? We use a travel destination, and we ask consumers to work together to sketch out their schedule for the travel. For example, you go to Cancun, right? You want to spend a couple of days with your friends, but how do you make the time worthwhile or rewarding? So we give consumers opportunity to co-create, to work together, create their schedule. So something along that line, to incorporate your meal and also your concert. But at the end of the day, it's experience. It's not meal per se. It's not concert per se. It is you and your friends are having a good time on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, right? Having a nice meal, going to concert or vice versa. I think that's something probably, Barbara, you can think along that line.
Yeah, adding on that, I think the experience would actually the concert plus the restaurant would actually make a very nice setting.
Exactly, that's a magical combination.
Yeah, both of them are highly social in terms of the value. So it could create a very nice experience, well, that the friends and the family can hang out together. So it makes the co-creation very legitimate. And also, I think that the key here is that we talked about how digital can make things really skilled based on the network effect. But the true merit is really about how you can engage customers to co-create some shared experience, which actually really builds the social bonds between friends, and that transforms the way they look at the coupons. So that's kind of is the merit about doing it.
Yeah, Barbara's getting it. She says it could be to choose your restaurant and choose your concert together.
I'm looking at Barbara's response. I mean, she looks like she already has the answer. Yes, exactly. Plan your adventure. I like it. Planning an adventure together with your friends, right? You can choose a concert, you can choose a restaurant within, let's say, 20 miles of radius, 30 miles of radius, and then make sure, at the end of the day, it's about 4 or 5 hours of shared experience, having a good time with your family members, with your friends. Yes, I think that would be a great way. Because what we find, once consumers they believe they are part of the process rather than they're just thrown out. They are just part of the process. That's really the
So Barbara is doing double duty here. She's asking you questions. She's also demonstrating the point of these mountain talks is for alumni to get ideas and to take them back into their real life business, because you never stop learning, especially as a Lehigh alum. that lifelong learning ability and curiosity is kind of why Lehigh is such an amazing.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, we'll be more than basically, we'll be more than happy to follow up with Barbara to if she's interested in designing some activities for research purpose.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. I'll make sure to connect you. Yeah, she was a marketing major. I had a question about the apps. So you mentioned McDonald's, and I'm a huge fan, I admit. And I have the McDonald's app, which every day has like different, the dollar value menu or different, free fries with this or that. How do corporations balance that? There's no shared experience there. It's just I open my app and I get free stuff.
Right.
So did you study that at all, or how?
I actually have a perfect example for that. It's not McDonald's, it's the competitor Burger King. I'm not sure if you heard about, they launched a campaign about like a few years ago about the Whopper Detour campaign.
Oh.
So basically what Burger King did is that, so like every day they send you a lot of coupons in the app, right? It's just considered a coupon promotion, which the redemption rate is very low. So what Burger King did is like they want customers to, so they actually added some task to consumers. They ask customers to take a detour before they can be eligible for receiving a 1 cent Whopper deal. So what the customer have to do is that they have to drive to a McDonald's, a nearby McDonald's, and pull up their Burger King app and order the Whopper at the McDonald's site, and then drive to the nearby Burger King to pick up the Whopper. The Whopper is 1 cent. Well, you were thinking probably that's crazy because typically every day they send out at least 1 cent Whopper deal, right? But not a lot of redemption. But now you ask customers to do more work. You have to drive around, went to McDonald's before you go to Burger King. It's a lot of work. But there were actually a lot more customers were doing that. I think like after 7 days, the sales went phenomenal, and the Burger King app was the most downloadable app like in a week in the Apple Store. So that was like a very amazing campaign where they actually won a very prestigious advertising award for it. But the concept embedded is about how you can engage your customers for an experience.
Right. That's so the Burger King, do you remember who the ad agency was?
Or was
I
don't remember. That's the one that always partnered with them.
Okay. And it doesn't matter. I just was wondering, how did the people at that agency know to try something like this? So maybe get into a little bit about how you all, besides the Journal of Marketing, how do you take this knowledge and get it into the hands of the ad agencies and the brand marketing managers? How can more people like that develop that app get your?
I think from from the academic perspective, this is exciting, but this is actually understandable because we talk about like customers need to rationalize their behavior, right? Like if you see a coupon, you feel like this is an economic transaction. You're just trying to get me buying something. So the control is in the business hand, and they consider the promotion is a way to stimulate my purchase. But this one has a lot of successful elements. On one, it's surprising, it's counterproductive, it's counterintuitive. So a lot of customers following the trend, trying to see what happened. So they want to dig into and figure out what it is. And others join because they enjoy the experience about driving over there, doing something fun and sharing that on social media. So it's a lot of hype on the social media where a lot of people sharing about their detouring experience. And with the social media, then more and more people started to join. So I think it has a number of successful elements. It's very surprising. It's it's opposite to people's expectation. That's one thing that motivates people to think and become excited. And also it gets scaled very quickly through those user-generated campaign, because now everyone share their pictures about their detour experience online, and then you get more people become excited and they all join the fad. So I think social media helps to boost that effect as well. But ultimately, I think it's more about how customers make sense about it. Now they no longer consider that a 1 cent Whopper is just a price promotion. They consider it's a fun experience. It's a fun experience with the brand, and that Whopper is a reward for their hard work or the end about the experience. So I think they transform the way how customers process the promotion.
Yeah, yeah. How did they know to do that though? Like, were they just were like around a conference room and they were just trying to decide, or do they consult with people like you who actually do the research? Because you could be advising.
So that's Jennifer. That's the reason we are doing Mountain Talk, right?
Right. And see, Barb is taking advantage of this knowledge.
That's the reason we are doing this Mountain Talk. I think there is. I think Jennifer, you are doing something phenomenal here. At the end of the day, I have to say, we are working so far. We are still working different silos.
Yeah.
Academia working, academia businesses are doing whatever they are comfortable of doing.
Yeah.
In the last few years, we are seeing really a bridge right between academia and the business world. I mean, we just took that opportunity by working with Coke, and also at the end of the day, we get some insights, which is what professors care about. Is to contribute to the basic discipline knowledge base, but also Coke takes that. Actually, we save Coke. Indeed, we save Coke a lot of budget in that process. I think we are really looking forward to more opportunities like this. That is, which we call cross-fertilization between academia and the industry world. And Jennifer, you are playing a very important role in that regard.
Yeah, it just seems to be, as we all look for data, and if you've already done these experiments and you've proven what can work, it seems like it would be a good idea for more. If I were a brand manager anywhere, I would be like, hey, what does the data say? And what?
Yeah.
Why
and
would
actually,
we?
in this case, Coke did some eventual calculation saying that doing, as Beibei said very rightfully, which is doing more by doing less. Actually, Coke did some calculation that using our campaign, they can save budget about $20 million US.
Wow.
Yeah, their total. Because I mean, think about Coke. I mean, they have big spender in marketing, a big spender in advertising and coupon.
Yeah.
So it's when we scale it up, it's pretty significant. But regardless, even for SMEs. It's not just, I mean, the reason I'm saying that is not just about our research per se, is really about using Mountain Talk as a venue that academic world, my colleagues and other disciplines in business, and can work closely with industry, work on something important.
Yeah, and wouldn't it be awesome if Coke was like, you saved us, Eric and Beibei, you saved us $20 million. Here's $1 million, thanks.
No, we didn't get a cut. We didn't get anything.
Free Coke? Did you get free Coke?
Yeah, so I mean, because at the end of the day, we care about writing academic paper to contribute to the basic discipline.
Right.
Maybe we'll think about that, but no.
No, but I should mention that, it does take money to do this kind of research. And I know you write grants and that kind of thing. And my office, we do have people that, if anybody on the call would like to contribute to this research or anything else in the College of Business, let me know and I can hook you up.
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer, thanks for raising it up. So I just basically, and I would just want to use this opportunity to thank everybody for participating. But more importantly, Beibei and I, we are running a center, which is Center for Digital Marketing and Marketing Strategy and Analytics. If any of the audience are interested in working with us some in a broad arena of digital marketing strategy analytics, feel free to reach out to us and to Jennifer. And yeah, as I said, this is yeah. So that's a venue we really want to promote.
Yeah, well, I may be calling you because I do a weekly newsletter out to all of our alums, and so we need a little help with that.
Yeah,
it's
and
still
also
getting a lot of-
I mean, I guess probably equally important, I think it's also going to be a great resource for our students, undergrads and graduate students, who also can be part of that process. So it's going to be like a win-win-win, right? For our research, for our teaching, and also for our industry, alumni industry practice.
Absolutely, and it's changing every day. So yeah.
Yeah.
Barbara, we just need to do a little bit of editing, and it'll be up within the next week. So we will send out a link to the recording. And oh, thank you, Rob. Rob just put in the chat the link to the Center for Digital Marketing. So go check that out. All right. Well, thank you so much, you two. This was fascinating, and I learned a lot. So I'm selfishly really happy that we had this conversation, and it looks like our alums did too. So thank you again.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, Jennifer, thanks for organizing this. Basically,
Yeah,
thanks
thank you
for a great talk.
having us. Yeah.